All right, everybody, welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I am your host, as always, Frankie Corcoran. We are on part 2 now of our Where Has Krista Potenza Been? So you guys,
Where are they now?
Where are they now?
Where do cartoon people go?
A cartoon limbo is what it's called. I can see why you're so passionate about what you do, and it really is great to see, and just to see how you impacted their lives has truly been amazing.
And how they've impacted mine. How we were like, we're in a tidal lock, an orbit around each other, right? In this terraforming of this new world that we've created. Yeah, and I'm not back in my studio because, speaking of the Freedom Forgers, our audio engineer Kelsey Irwin is actually in there right now working on our new Valentine's Day album. So we've released a Christmas album and we're releasing a Valentine's Day album. We might do a St. Patty's Day album, but then we are going to be releasing and working on in the summer, starting to work on, our original songs, their original artistry, original stuff. But it's just nice to get them used to, publishing something. I don't have a Christmas album out. I don't, you know what I mean? That's always been a big bucket list thing of mine. And so I was like, way to go, guys. There are more Freedom Forgers. The people that weren't there were Nicholas Lunison, Lauren Horchek, and Andrew, who was on, but we had a little bit of Andrew P. Bassa. He's our junior Freedom Forger. He is a junior Freedom Forger, one of our only Freedom Forgers. Okay. Right. And there are other Freedom Forgers that went on to, were with us for a bit, and it either didn't work out or they were with us and they got what they needed. And now they're out there doing their own thing. You know what I mean? Like, they're out there living their dream. And if it was to get a job, to get a girlfriend, get their own apartment, get a dog, like, those are the things. When they first started, they wrote a 5-year plan, and everyone is pretty much, as we approach our 4th year, they have all checked off everything that they said they were going to do a year ago. And because of the pandemic, there's now even more opportunity for them. So with the good, there's bad. As above, so below. It all balanced out for the Freedom Forgers. Because like I said, there were parts of the industry that fell apart. Okay.
Yeah.
And there were people's livelihoods and stuff that have totally just disappeared or dissolved, or they just changed. They got out of the business, the industry. And, we found out during the pandemic that a lot of jobs that were kind of like gatekeeper jobs or golden handshake jobs were unnecessary financially and to get things done. But it was just the old model, the old way, which is broken, like, as we're seeing, as Hollywood is crumbling, and we're seeing this play out. And on the flip side of it, people like the Freedom Forgers, they're asking for inclusivity. I have seen, ever since Cartoon Network said, hey, I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing, as if Cartoon Network is one. I am.
It's like Sauron, the Eye of Sauron.
Totally. But yeah, they said, hey, because they realized that, majority of their fan base is on the spectrum. And because everyone was learning at home, there were more eyeballs, and e-learning changed. Everything changed. The format for everything, even e-learning, says we're going to go for a more podcast style. And that's where I started working a lot more. And this changed things for everybody. But, we're seeing breakdowns that saying non-communicative autistic person to make sounds, whatever they're doing. So they're just going to record. It's like recording a dolphin making sounds, a dolphin sound. It's just, but this is how they communicate. And it is a language, and if you understand the language of what they're speaking, then, we can then communicate. And that's the part of the success of our program, is being able to, like, somebody does, if you listen to their demos, you'd be like, what autism, what Asperger's, what disability. It's stacked up there with some pretty, A-lister demos, and you'd never know if it was in a lineup. So now it's not about them being autistic or having a disability. It's about their performance as an actor. And that sort of, validated them and made their dreams come true. And here we are. And I have a lot of fans around the world. And like I said, I was involved with Make-A-Wish Foundation, and these are people that were watching my cartoons to make them feel better. But I've gotten the fan notes saying, "Hey, I was going through a really tough time. I was, getting beat, abused. I was getting raped. I was getting, bullied, super bullying all over. I wanted to kill myself. You saw the documentary,
Right.
and that they were giving their testimonials, and you're just like, right. But once they found their voice and started telling their story, they were manifesting like everybody else, and they didn't realize it. These were people that were looking through the keyhole, watching everybody dance at the ball, and then not realizing that the door was open and they could go through. But they were happy just there. And then yet I'm teaching, at colleges and universities with young 20-year-olds, don't have disabilities, don't have problems, but can't handle day-to-day life.
Right.
They're just full of anxiety. They're doing this. And I go, I've got people over here that aren't even allowed to take classes like you guys are. And yet they're doing it and they're not complaining. They're happy. What is your problem that you can't do simple voice acting exercises? You won't go for your dream. You have a talent and you're putting yourself down because of anxiety and stress. And I'm like, I'm not dismissing that. I'm validating it, but they don't have a voice. So all of this has gotten the attention of a lot of people, right?
Absolutely.
What,
Absolutely.
but you see, that's where I've been, because my life changed because of a few certain people decided that they were going to make a move and start a smear campaign on me, right?
Yes.
And that's what everyone wants to know,
This
because
the
when that
T.
happened, this is the T,
Exactly.
right?
So,
It's just
yeah,
like, what
I got to
happened?
ask you what's going on. You know what I mean? Like everybody's wondering, Chris McLean, like what hashtag not my McLean, hashtag not my Chris. So where the hell have you been? Let's just get the answer out there. What's going on, Christian Potenza? What can you tell me?
Well, do you remember back in that other part of the interview where I just said, I was at a place where I had a yoga person trying to get me out of the building because she wanted it, and also people that I had asked to come on and help me, create something. Well, it all fell apart. Nobody really knew each other, and we put together something, and we tried to do it. It didn't work. Personal relationships, because at the time too, I was living at that studio. I was living it while I was building it, right?
Right.
I was like living inside of it. So my personal life, and having just buried my mother, and I don't have my fiance anymore, moved to a different sound. I'm in Hamilton, never been here before, never thought I'd be in Hamilton, you know
And then your
and
father a couple years later.
and then my father, yeah, but that all bleeds into
Oh,
the
right. Yeah,
the
sorry.
attack on me, like the timing and stuff like that. um but back then, I started getting a little more success with the Freedom Forgers program, and then it was going to come to life. But at this point, the other people that I had asked to come on said we wanted the building. They wanted me gone, because it was my name on the lease with my business partner at the time, who owned another business in the building. um and he said he's out, he just can't handle it, and we're at a crossroads there, and he leaves. And then I was like, okay. And then they wanted me out, and I said, this is too much. I just decided to fold it. And also at the time too, what really kickstarted all of this, there was this woman named Sonia Jezebel Cote. That's the one that made all these allegations and colluded with people and ran a smear campaign. I had asked her to teach, because I had known her, and I was dating her best friend years ago, back in 2013, and that's when I met her. And And so she's an actress, you know, a singer, and she's also heavily into witchcraft, and she promotes herself as this wicked witch, this red-haired witch that used to be a stripper, and has this book out, you know, where she's promoting, and she's very much an advocate for hashtag Me Too stuff. And, you know, I totally think it's a great cause. Anyways, she was working with us. And I brought her in because remember, I was bringing in Ivan Sherry, Ellen Dubin, John
Right.
Nellis, all these famous voice actors come and do workshops. But I found in this new thing that was outside of Toronto and working with all these non-union people and these you know, therapists, psychotherapists, art therapists, yoga, you know, spiritual healers, all this, you know, that community. Um, that my demographic was like women 45 to 65. There's this pocket, and I was like, and she is in that demographic. And I said, can you come and teach some acting, you know? And I also have some other students, you know, that I've started up a little thing. And she was like, okay. So she comes over, and you know, she checks out the studio, and she's like, great. So we set up this program for her to do some acting. And then she also had a book, you know, that her I'm Not Naked or whatever it's called, where she talks about her being a stripper and da 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 da, or just her life in the past, and how she was you know, a victim and stuff. And it was there, so we were selling it there. Anyways, she teaches her course and everything's great. She also wanted to do an erotica writing course, right? Because she does write erotica, and at the time I was going to help her, you know, look into recording her erotica and stuff like that. Not really my jam. I'm liking cartoons. I do a lot of radio, but I can help you out, you know, find you an audio engineer so you can voice your own female erotica. Anyways, we finished the course. Nobody signed up for her erotica writing thing, even though we did some promos, but we made a promo for her acting one. So then she finishes that one, and then she comes in and she goes, okay, her and her husband come in and they're talking to me, and they're like, I want to do another acting course. So I was like, yeah, I don't know about that, because I gave you a lot of money on that just to have it. You know what I mean? It was a one-off, and just to have it like a workshop, but not like a steady thing. And I gave you a lot of money just so you're coming in from Toronto and doing it, and that's fantastic, but we're not going to do that. And plus, nobody signed up for your erotica thing. So the demographic that I wanted you to go and teach with, because I'm not going to entertain 45 or 65-year-old women and stuff, because I'm doing something else. Didn't happen. She had all my young clients. And then she sort of took them as her own. I was like, hey, so, you know, just as, you know, they're my clients, sort of thing. I brought you in to run a workshop, but it's not a steady thing. You're not a for sure, you know, ongoing thing here. And then she's like, she gets really mad. And I also said, we can't have your book here anymore. We have children and stuff like that. And like, I just don't want to sell it out here in our lobby gifts shop little area that we had our, and so she got real mad. She got really mad. And then she went back to Toronto, and she wanted to teach her stuff there. She went to Man Casting, this other place, where she said, hey, can I teach this here? And they're like, no. And then she got real mad. And I was like, she took the property that I shot and did it. And I'm just like, what's going on here? Next thing you know, I get a letter from Children's Aid Society. CAS is called on me. And I'm like, what is going on? And there's a whole bunch of false accusations on it. And I was like, Sonia. And also a whole bunch of women that she got together, and men, to get me out of the building and to take me down. She gathered a whole bunch of people together and ran a smear campaign. And at first it started physically. I was getting approached by other people, and I could see, and, you know, I get called into ACTRA because there was a list of people with all these complaints. And then I go into ACTRA, I explained to them, and I was like, no, this is my studio. That never happened. That never happened. And there's a lot of people here. And I was like, but I know that Sonia Jezebel Cote has done this before. She has done this. This is what she does.
This is a
And
pattern
so
of behavior, you know?
it's no, she's done it to other
Yeah.
people. Because I know about stuff about her that her friend that I was dating for a while, I found out. And even people were saying, you better stay away from her, man. She's into some weird stuff. And I won't go on about it because, like, there's an investigation going on. These people that have been doing stuff are being watched right now because they have called the police. They've made false police reports. Private investigators following me. I've had my property stolen. I've been gang stalked. I've been frauded. People have been sent in to work with me only to just, get inside and start work with me, and then false accusations all over again. And I had people with witnesses. They also were putting up videos, and we've compiled them on a hidden Facebook group that I was asked to go check out. And even my business partner at the time, who was female, from other people from the industry, were like, you should be part of this group, and then next thing you know, I'm being talked about, and she is posting stuff and calling me out and just making false accusations and colluding with people, because other people are coming forward and going, hey, people are gathering, they're having meetings, like they're meeting and they're talking about you and they're going to do stuff to you. And then I was like, really? So okay. And I was hearing all this back, and then all of a sudden stuff pops up on the internet, and then I'm like, people are calling me, you know voice directors, and going, what's going on? And then it's just, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what she's going on about here. I haven't spoken to her since we had a falling out like last year. But in the meantime, she's running the smear campaign. She's gathering people, and other people had come and worked at my studio, and not everything works out. But there was one woman, Martha Christensen, who came in, and she was really doing some stuff as well. And now everyone's watching these people because we caught them in lies, and they involved a lot of people that were sent in to come and work with me at my studio, because they hacked into my accounts. And the bank's looking at this, the government, the police, they've hacked into my accounts. I'm losing clients nonstop, and getting my name dragged through the mud, trying to take out my business, trying to get me in trouble with ACTRA, the union. And then there was one day on February 28th, I'll never forget it. I was at the voice committee meeting for, ACTRA, and I'm on there and everything's fine. And then as soon as the meeting's over, she releases this thing, and she puts up a picture of Jude and Chris McLean and says, this redheaded voice coach, da 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 da, is, and it spreads like wildfire, but it was all a planned thing. It was like a planned attack. They wanted to gameshi me. They wanted to do this thing where they did that. And next thing I know, my agent calls me and is like, this is going viral. Like, it is, what's going on? I was like, I haven't spoken to her. I don't know what she's on about, but I'm just constantly getting attacked. So then this happens, and then I'm just gutted. I'm just gutted. And I'm seeing all of these people respond, people that I know and work with, people within the industry, people from ACTRA. They're all going, oh my God, that guy. Yeah, let me tell you. And all of a sudden I was just like, whoa, so that's how you really feel about me. And it was like the pitchforks and the things come out, and it just spread with all these lies. You know what I mean? It's just like, it is just one person doing this, and then other people are getting on the bandwagon, right? It's cancel culture, right? This is the way I've seen it happen to friends, I've seen it happen to other people, and I'm just like,
Celebrities
oh,
and all that. It happens all the
celebrities.
time.
And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So my agent says, call a lawyer. And also, one of the people that's friends with that Martha Christensen woman, who was really running a campaign with her, that we caught in a lie, is like, she gave me a lawyer because she's like, she was giving me intel. Remember, people are taking screenshots and I'm compiling them. And this is brutal things to read that aren't true. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, but if somebody puts it up there, it's got to be true. And I couldn't get access to it, but people are sending me screenshots. And so I approach a lawyer and she's like, well, I named all the people that are doing stuff. And, there's 4 or 5 women that are doing stuff here. And I need to get a cease and desist. And she's like, well, you're looking at like for all this work and everything, because it's a big thing. It's like, at first it was $6,000, which I couldn't afford at the time because my my accounts have been hacked and I didn't realize it was like death by a bunch of cuts. So I'm waiting for the fraud department at the bank to call me, to get, but there's an investigation. So I talked to the my lawyer and stuff. And, it was going to cost me too much. I couldn't afford it for a cease and desist. And then, and then the lawyer said, and she goes, I hate to tell you, but this is like a common thing right now. Like you're like the 5th male client this week, or somebody that's called me with this exact same thing. It's like, this is what happens. And so talking to my agent and other agencies that I work with, remember, I work with their kids. They're trying to defame me and take me out, these false accusations. But then the people that are working with me are like, this isn't true. And I got testimonial, it's just like, this is false. This is false. And some people implicated their children in it. And they're like, that's not true. So I've got their testimonies. And that's what they said. They just said, be quiet. Just keep compiling it. It's going to suck. It's going to suck. But just, if you throw money at it, because they were trying to get me to engage, to fight, to do something on the internet, to defend myself. And I just decided, and this was the advice given to me by the cops, the legal team, and everything is just like, I agree, it's not true. So why would I defend it? Anything I do, my actions, it's not your problems that define you. It's how you deal with your problems that defines you. And I was like, how am I going to do this? And I just decided to compile and just plug on and stick with the Freedom Forgers and just dedicate myself. And I still had a bunch of other clients going, stuff going on, but all my jobs started going away. And, it started with Fresh TV. There was something that happened right before this, where some fans put out a whole big episode, and it was like, they just went and did it. They put out an episode and it was like fan art, but it was like, because Total Drama wasn't going back on the air and blah, blah, blah. This is how rabid the fans are. Like I told you in the past, I've had death threats. I've had stalkers.
Fictional character too.
For a fictional character, yeah. But because I have my YouTube channel, it's like, and people hear my voice, they associate I'm like Chris, and I'm not. You know what I mean? And it's just like, but the thing is, the fan base, which I have this relationship with, they were giving death threats to, because Tom and Fresh TV and Jennifer Perch put out a cease and desist, just like, you got to stop. And this uproared the fans. And now Tom and Jennifer Perch, the creators, were getting death threats. And I was like, welcome to the fans.
Yeah,
welcome to
this
the
is
fans.
What it is. Yeah.
And so they're freaking out. They're like, what? And so I decide to go up and do a special where I just talked and I addressed it. It's on my YouTube channel. It's called Stop the Drama, where I talked. I was like, guys, you got to stop this. You're not allowed to do other people's shows. Fan art is one thing, but to go out and do a 2-hour movie production, I was like, so I had to do a thing. And this we got them back because I hadn't done anything with the with the
too many projects
with the fan base, in years. And so it started there with this controversy. And then they go ahead and release that we're doing Total Drama again. Right? We're doing Total Drama. Let's get this
thumbs
going
up going.
Boom,
Yes,
boom,
there we
boom,
go.
boom.
Woo,
We're doing
Drama's
Total
back.
Drama.
Not just Total Drama, the Total Drama.
Oh, I was gonna do the thing. That's not gonna happen. But yeah, so the fan base needed to be saddled a little bit. Like, let's get you all back. And then they announced that we're gonna do another season. Well, hell, everything's fine, everything's great. And then we start recording. the season, and it's going well. It's going well. But then this woman, Sonia Jezebel Cote, decides that she's going to still run her campaign. Mind you, I haven't spoken to this woman in 2 years, but she's still running something and she's still going at it. And I'm still getting reports and I'm still getting stuff from this private Facebook group where she was listing all these allegations and also doing videos because she also posted one saying, hey, just so you know, he teaches at this college. And I
Like that's
lost my
just
job there.
like,
I
oh my
lost my job
God.
there. Every time I got a new client or something, because I'd be publicizing something, or I did a podcast with an autistic kid from Chicago. Shout out to Joe. I did a podcast with him, and as soon as he released it, these people called him and said that all these terrible things, and he called me in tears going, why are they saying this? I was like, dude, I don't know, but they were targeting them, and they were targeting one of the other women under investigation that stole money from us and was working with me and was kind of sent by her. I won't mention her name because it's under investigation, but Sonia Jezebel Cote and Martha Christensen have been very vocal, and they're the ones, doing a lot of this. So I'm gladly to talk about them. But there are members of the union and casting directors and assistants who blackballed clients of mine that are with a certain agency and said that they didn't bring them in because you're working with Christian. And the thing is, they were going, those aren't true. That's not true. What you're saying is not true. And they got blackballed. So I'm sitting on this information too, but now I'm talking about it because it's going to come forward, because once they found out that I found out, all of a sudden this girl's getting brought in again.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden there's the notes from the casting director. And I was like, yeah, because you guys know that you fucked up. You know what I mean? You fucked up and you got caught up in something that isn't true. And now everyone's seeing that these allegations aren't true because I left a Mirage and I'm over here in the Oasis and these people are crucifying something. And the thing is, I didn't want to be Chris McLean anymore.
Yeah.
When we started recording it, I was like, that's great because, hey, coming out of a pandemic and stuff where nobody was working much, I was like, I could use some cartoon money again, folks. Yeah.
And
But
also you kind of miss it. Pandemic happens. You kind of take for
and
granted what you had.
and I was still like, I was just loving being Chris again. You know what I mean? Because it did come back. It was a cartoon miracle. But nope, these people wanted to, and any chance they would get with false allegations, because like this woman, Sonia Jezebel Cote, she even said and admitted, and somebody sent me the clip, because remember, everything that was hidden from me, people that were there under guise, and they were sending me, and they were grabbing screenshots that I couldn't get, and videos of her going, I've been trying to take this guy out for 4 years. And she's like, da, 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 da. And she's colluded with a lot of people. And some other people have come forward to me going, I'm so sorry. They feel so guilty. They were like, I don't know what I was thinking. But other people too said, like, she's coming in going, are you with us or you're not? She was really trying to do this, like muscle in. And so I'm hearing all this, taking down people's testimonials. So here we are 3-4 years later. But this woman says that she's been trying to take me down for like years. So I was like, you did it. You've admitted it. Federal crimes. You've admitted it. And now there's an investigation going on. And I just had to keep quiet. But the hell of having your name to innocent people, like fans of mine who I brought a lot of joy and who I was talking to, friends of mine had to back away, everything. My daughter had to see this.
It's a lot, man. Like, it's
Karma knows where everybody lives. That's all I
absolutely.
gotta say. And now it's playing out. I mean, you look at Johnny Depp, kept quiet for 5 years, lost it all.
Yep.
only to
In
find out
in the blink
that,
of an eye.
yep,
Literally. Like Amber Heard still allowed, she's still allowed to do Aquaman and all these other projects. Allegations come out about Johnny Depp. Boom. Pirates of the Caribbean, you're done. Fantastic Beasts, you're done. Every project he has, done. You know?
yep,
And then come to
yep.
find out things weren't quite what she was saying, you know? Like she's just she's a bullshitter, really. Like
Yeah. Well,
there's no easy way to say it.
and that's the best part, because they have all these allegations out there. I have found actual lies and testimony, and we caught people. And once I did, and that happened, like there was some in the summer, there was some before that, and these people know, and then they've just disappeared. Like they're running. Everybody's running. And now I'm like, I've got several police reports, even with my landlord that was at the other place. There was a lot of people working together, false police reports. I was pulled over by police so many times, or trailed. Do you know how that makes you feel? And also to have private investigators follow you, you start to go a little, and that's what they tried to paint me out as like a crazy, maniacal, deranged person that can't handle a business. And I was like, well, first of all, you attack my business. I was doing fine until, but the
Yeah.
one thing they didn't know about was the Freedom Forgers program. But still, it was,
No.
that was just
So
going to rent. But there was all these people working together to try to take me down. And I don't know, there were allegations, there was suspicion of some people were paid to do this, some people were coerced, some people were, but all the things they said that I was doing, they're doing. If Because the one thing I want to know is, sure, she did all these things, but even the police, when I was talking to the police and doing my police reports, I was like, why is she doing this? I said that to the people that came in to check my mental health, that were like, we hear some stuff, Nick. And I was like, why is she doing this? Because every time I go to do something good, like I have an event or I have something happens. And I was like, somebody's inside, somebody's working, somebody's finding out stuff. And they have all my personal banking information. My phone has been hacked. I've on 2 different phones. My router has been hacked. I had to bring in a technician to find, and he's like, yeah, you've got a Trojan thing. They're used, because I returned a router, a modem, sorry, to Bell, and I was like, this one is, it's not working, and it keeps, and then I returned it, but then I come back, and for 2 months I'm still picking up Bell 633 or whatever it was. I was just like, what is that? And they're like, don't worry about it. And I was like, oh my god, everything's being tapped, like all these false allegations. And if I did one or two of the things that they said I did, why am I not in jail?
exactly.
Why
You
have
wouldn't
why
be
have I
here.
never been contacted by the police, just followed by them? What the
Exactly.
is happening?
Like
You know?
it's just so I was kind of curious. I mean, of course, you're you've done so much good. You're in the clear. How do you move forward knowing that, I mean, of course people will have their own takes. Oh, yes, he is this. Yeah, no, he's not. How do you move forward knowing that there will no doubt be some people who think, oh no, he's that same person. You know what I mean? How do you move past that?
Well, first of all, one thing is like, after losing your mother, your livelihood, your everything, and try to reinvent yourself, only to have your father die, and then a year later head into a pandemic, and now you're the head of your own family. But it's like the world got out of my way, and I saw my life clearly. It's like everyone else was like, their lives got turned upside down. And I was like, great. So I'm just going to go and just plug on because I have a new direction. And I was like, this is like a cleansing. This is a cleansing. And birth is painful. Rebirth is even more painful because you know what it is. The first time you get birth, you're like, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna cry though because I'm cold and scared and hungry, and I don't know. I'm
The
just
fuck are these
lost.
people?
Yeah, the rebirth is like, I know what's going on and I'm conscious of it. It's like, you're amputating your own arm because you don't, it's not working. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
With no anesthetic. It was a spiritual amputation. But you see, a um a saying that came up when I was, you know, healing from loss of my mother and my life and everything. And I knew I was going to change. There was a saying that came up. I saw it on Facebook. Excuse me, in one of those little memes, little glowy, flickery things. And it said, "What you lost in the fire, you will find in the ashes." And I was like, what my iPad just said to me for the rest of my life. And that helped me navigate. And I knew. And also, I was working with some psychics and mediums at the time, producing their YouTube channels. And they were like, "Oh, this was destined. Yes, but you're going to be free." And I was like, "Free of what?" And she's like, "Old self." And I was like, hey, because I didn't have the best growing up, you know there was some stuff that I didn't realize was a thing. And yeah, we all have our stuff and we all evolve, and that's it with growth. And I knew that I didn't want to be Chris McLean anymore, because when that shit happened with the death threats and the I've been through other stuff before with total drama, but not to this extent where the creators are getting death threats and they're asking me to do an outreach. And I was like, I've always been an ambassador to them, to Fresh TV. I've always been, even with 16, like that blew up, and Total Drama even really blew up, and I started my own thing, and I've been an ambassador for Fresh TV with two solid characters that shaped the landscape of their thing, so I had a big part in the success of what they've created. And I remember when Megan Fallenbach was let go from Total Drama Rama, because she was playing her character Gwen, but as a kid, but Cartoon Network was like, it's not quite there. You know what I mean? And they wanted to replace her with an actual child, somebody that's, well, she flipped out on social media. So then Jen and Tom talked to her. This happens to me. I just get let go. They don't even talk to me. They don't do anything. And then I find out that even some of the people that are over there at Fresh TV are also chirping about stuff. And I was like, well, that's it for that. Not even a phone call, just gone. And I was like, so that was there the whole time. Here I've been so loyal and so devoted to Fresh TV and to the franchise of of Total Drama, and ambassador with Chris McLean, but also with my own person. 20 years over like
Done.
that, gone. And I was like, okay, that's neat. That's real neat. So what's going to happen when they find out that I've never been contacted by the police, these allegations? I was like, even if one or two of them, even the people that were working with me, was like, I was there. What the is going on? How are you? This isn't true. And I was like, there's nothing you can do, because if I come back on social media, it would be like putting out fire with gasoline. And I don't want to talk to these people. I'm just like, it's not true. So why would I give it any attention? So I just let it go. And I just kept compiling things, and it hurt and it was sad and it was sad, but it really made me into knowing my self-worth and standing up for myself. I'm the abused, bullied kid that never stood up for himself. And now I'm standing up for myself, but in a different way. And it's really shaped me, because I didn't want to be Chris anymore. Once we started doing it, and then I realized, because I didn't post any, hey, I'm filming. I decided I'm not doing anything like that anymore. I'm just going to do my job, because I don't care. I don't care. I just want to, and I didn't think it was just a one season thing after being off the air for so many years. I was like, I want to be part of that, because that's history in the making right there. And
Absolutely.
I wanted to be a part of that. But then I was probably going to say, like, that's it, because I'm not booking anything else, because this is taken over. And I did it to myself. I lapped it up too. It was new, 2007, social media, everything. And I was like, cool. I'm making money just off of me and my thing, but it's still Chris McLean. It's still them. And I was like, it's not genuine. That's
No,
why when I met the Freedom Forgers, I was like, hey, I want to make some cool shit with you guys, because you guys get it, man. You get it. You know cartoons
they
better
really
than
do.
anyone I know.
and you're because of course the one thing that really stood out to me even watching that Freedom Forgers documentary was, and I think I mentioned to this earlier on in the episode, was people told you that you couldn't do what you're doing now,
Yeah.
and here
I
you are, you know what I
I
mean?
re-
And so you're giving people that opportunity, you're laying that foundation for them. Like, look, they told me I couldn't do it, but that doesn't mean anything because they said I couldn't, but look at me now. And you're helping people reach their fullest potential, you know?
yeah. Like I said, I realized that I have a talent, but unless I show you that you have the same or if not greater amount of talent, my talent means nothing. It really doesn't. So that's what it's about. And now that I still have, I have an outreach still. If I come back, to my fan base, once they find out what's going on, I want to introduce them to the Freedom Forgers because 3/4 of my fan base that I never met in person or when I was running the fanship, I know for a fact that 3/4 of them are on the spectrum. And I want to start a movement for all these people that aren't allowed to make cartoons. Well, we can make our own and we don't need anybody,
Exactly.
and it's original. And if it's on YouTube, YouTube is looking for, original programming, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's been a journey because the thing is the way the universe works, right? As above, so below. It all balances itself out. But even while this was happening, they're making a lot of noise going after a phantom or an image of something that is not there. And so all these other people are around watching them. And I'm like, they're just stacking the things they're doing wrong. And we're colluding and they're all in one place. You know what I mean? So now they're scrambling or they're trying to do, if they're going to try and do something, it'd be like swing and a miss with an allegation because of the gang stalking and the following and them taking my mail and like just make it everywhere I go, just something happening, right? Just waiting for me to freak out, just pushing my buttons, just breaking me down so I snap. Never happened. And now I've moved far away from everybody where you can't just bump into me. You can't come to the house. You can't come to the studio because I ripped down the studio and I put studios in everybody's home,
Yeah,
right? Instead of being a
exactly.
target, right? Instead of being a target. And now my client list is unknown, but it's all with the people that were with me from the whole beginning, watching all this, knowing it wasn't true. I've had people from the industry come to my studio, talk to me, look it around, check it out. And they're like, yeah, that's what I thought, and like, good for you. And like, we got you, but we got to stay quiet. And I was like,
Just doing our job,
absolutely,
you know? Yeah.
just doing our job. But there was more of the support than there was the allegations. And the allegations would just go up every time they did something, but it would just be like, puh, and then it would fall out. I'd be like, whatever. Oh, I lost my job teaching at the college because of some allegations, but yet they still paid me.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly. Joke's on them.
and
I'm
the
still
thing
getting a
was
living.
that opened me up to do more time with the Freedom Forgers. You know, the only thing that sucked was that Fresh TV didn't even talk to me after a 20-year like solid relationship. They just walked.
Like
And
just
with the other people, they didn't do that. The other people that they let go or do stuff, but with me, nothing. And I was like, what's gonna happen when it all comes out now that like, hey, none of that was true. I got let go, and HBO Max, it was supposed to play on Cartoon Network. My career is done. I've been blackballed by the industry in my own town, not doing anything. Nobody wants to work with me now. And I'm like, so what's the compensation? How does it work? What's going to happen when the investigation, like, because there's an investigation happening and I have all this evidence clearly like and implicating themselves in what they were doing, and I have them all. And so what's going to happen now with Fresh TV? What happens to the fans? Who's making the statement now is what I want to know. And the thing is, I don't fucking care. I really, really don't care because that's a lot of drama that this was part of my life. I wanted to let go. I wanted to be out of it anyway. It just so happened that this is the way out, because even if I was to just like, I don't want to do it anymore, people would be all like, yeah, he's guilty and he's just hiding. That's the way it looked
Exactly. They
anyway.
just jump to conclusions. Any type of like, even the any person online who has gone through allegations such as Louis C.K. has gone through some, they will watch interviews and look at his facial expressions and just go, "Oh, he's guilty. He blinked twice. He's
Yeah.
guilty. Oh, he
Oh,
scratched
dude,
his eyebrow." Like, it's like you're literally basing this on just what people do. I'm doing this right now. Does that mean I'm guilty? No. Like,
dude, when they saw the comments, when she put out that first one, putting like, not saying my name, because she's smart, she's done this to other people, this Sonia Jezebel Cote,
she can make
with
a living off this if she
with
wanted
real
to.
estate. She has taken out people, and that's the thing, I knew what kind of stuff she was into, and I think that's why we had a disagreement. I don't know if she wanted to, but if she thought I was going to expose her or something. I was like, no, I just want to stay away from you. That's the thing. You want to engage with me. I was like, I just want you out of my life because you're into some weird shit. And she promotes herself as being a witch. Look into it. And also, the same thing I asked the police, the same thing I ask everybody else. And now I'm putting it out to like, why was she doing this? Why was she for over 3 years a constant campaign, even though I haven't talked to her? I didn't even engage with her. I just wanted her gone out of my life.
Right.
And yet now she's colluding more and more and more people, and always with my inner circle. Or every time I'm up doing a thing, a promo, she contacts those people. And she's contacted so many people because they call me and go, hey, Sonia Jezebel Cote just called me and was like pressuring me. So it's like, she's running a thing. Why? What's the real reason? Because
I'm
she's guilty of it, right? And she's
I'm waiting for a phone call now. My phone is just gonna be
yeah, well, that's the thing. This is what I want to ask. And like, so we're compiling stuff and we're looking at stuff, and like, here we are. It's time to figure this out now, 4 or 5 years later, right? And let's see what's right. Let's see what it is. And I stand in my truth. I stand in my convictions, and I've got a wide net of people who have their own testimonials too, and some against her for what she did to them years ago, but on the same platform of just taking somebody out. So I ask, why is she doing this? And these are the questions. And for those people that colluded with her, and that includes people from the union, the industry, who are like, yeah, now that you mention it, I never liked that guy. And I was like, whoa, we did films, we're on the same thing, and now you don't like me because you got a platform to say this. And I was like, wow. And those people that were saying things to my clients, or blackballing my clients because they work with me, and they're actors, these are children, and you're doing that. Well, I've informed the agent, I'm about to inform the union. Like, when all this comes out, I was like, there's a few people like, why'd you do this? For what reason? And then now, we're gonna see stuff. But this is the first time I've told the story because it's reached that point. I checked with my team, I'm like, yeah, because before I had evidence, but there was still more playing out. Now we're on the outskirts of ground zero, right? Where, the blast went this far. So I'm on the other side of the blast, and I'm checking the perimeter, and I'm like, yep, yep, yep. So we've got it surrounded, and I'm here to not defend myself. I'm here to tell you what happened from my point of view, because nobody asked. They just went with the cancel culture thing, but the whole time I'm like, I got off social media, and I'm all like, freedom. I can't tell you how liberating and how reconnecting to one's everything, essence.
feels so good.
There I am. There I am. Look, I just made French toast for myself, and maybe for somebody that's with me. I didn't take a picture of it. I didn't share it on social media and tell everybody about my guilty pleasure and how I like to out gourmet myself with French toast every time I do it. No, no, I kept it to myself. Whereas before, I did it to myself too. I had so much out there about me. I mean, you punch in my name, it'll give you my net worth. everything going from
Everything.
$1 million to $9 million net worth. And I
His
was like,
blood type.
my blood
Uh,
type, who I was dating, who I was married to, like everything. It's just, it's on there. But what really confused me too was I called my agent. I was like, I just go to check out my IMDb. I'm just wondering if, because of these allegations, if there's certain productions that are like, meh, we're taking it off. I get on there, and the first thing it says I see is Anthony Christian Potenza. Somebody changed my name because listen, those hackers, they took over my YouTube channel.
yeah.
I can't even get to it anymore. And I don't even know where they've siphoned money. They've taken payments of mine that were payments and hijacked it. But like all these hacking things with my identity, I'm locked out of my Facebook. I had to start up a little one that was just to keep into communication with people. But they firewalled me from all my stuff, my bank accounts for for a while, all my emails, but my YouTube channel. So if somebody's getting paid for it, or if it's still making money, it's going to somebody else. I haven't done it, but I got firewalled out of everything and all social media. And I realized, good, good. It's a fake life anyway. What the fuck was I thinking? Promoting like my whole life and everything about me in my home, in my car. This is my daughter. This is my dog. This is my girlfriend. Blah, 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 blah. This is what I'm doing. Come check out the week. I was like, oh no.
What am I
So
doing?
to get out of that is impossible because it's up there forever. Like these allegations, like this, the rumors, the gossip. But now I'm going to add a little more into the pool because it's one-sided. It's one current. What happens if we put another current, in the middle? Let's figure this out, everyone. For those that are interested, for those that even care, because I don't. Like that's the best part.
I
Because
care.
people are,
No kidding.
yeah, no, but the thing is, I don't because you can't care about something that died.
Exactly.
I have feelings, but man, I'm dealing with it. I'm doing my own therapy because what I went through is, most people couldn't handle a nail clipping, let alone the whole hand, let alone the arm, let alone the whole body of what happened. So I was like, I'm just looking at that and, restoring my faith.
And you've done great, man. You really, really
Thanks.
have done great. It's a big weight off your shoulder now, I'd imagine, just having it all, like lay your cards on the table. You finally told it all. Now it's kind of like one
Well, you
way.
know what
Yeah,
though? I gotta say though, this wouldn't have happened unless Lynn Zelany showed up in my life. Because the thing was, nobody saw this stuff because they would always attack me when I was alone. And I
right.
was I was in hiding. That's what they wanted. They wanted me to be like, in hermit, but they taken everything away just so I was going crazy. Like, dude, it got so bad. But then I started working with Lynn. I was like, you know what? Oh, we got to make this Freedom Forgers program. Because once I left that studio with the crooked mob boss landlord,
Right.
I said the Freedom Forgers must live because I'm done with that. I'm walking from the industry and everything, and now I just want to do Freedom Forgers stuff, and I'm going to create my own cartoons, cast myself in it with the Freedom Forgers, right? And so I I started hanging out with Lynn, and she was helping me create this because her son was a Freedom Forger, and he was new, so we had to get him caught up. But then we started hanging out, and I was like, Lynn, see that car over there? Watch this. It's going to follow us. And she saw it. And then she saw the hacking of, email threads or text threads being totally wiped on mine and her. She saw the hacking. She saw the gang stalking, and she saw people in real life come up and start attacking me. And she bared witness to this.
Right.
Not like it was one of my friends. Like, this is a regular woman, who has a neurodivergent son who, it was a social worker who's watching this and being able to bear witness to all this stuff. And I was like, see, I'm not lying. I'm not fabric. I'm not going crazy, am I? She's like, no. And so she saw it. And that's when things started to really happen and accelerate because I had somebody there. It wasn't me just, saying stuff or defending myself. Somebody was there, and that validated. And then more and more and more people started to see. Then the veil was lifted. And then that's what brings me to the outside. So I will say there's been a lot of people, a big shout out to Stephanie Yelovich, my business partner at the Forge, who had to bear and endure so much of it and stuck with me. Now that's loyalty. That's a friend. And she was there defending as best she could. And was her career influenced by this? Probably as well. And that's one thing that I'll be bringing up. But because of Lynn, because of Stephanie, because of Shelby's mom, Sheila, the support that they have given me, and because a lot was taken away, but they didn't take away who I am, and that was invested totally in the Freedom Forgers program, and securing my own legacy now. Not Chris McLean, because I said when that shit happened, I was like, I am so. This is why I wanted out. This is for this exact reason, because fame, notoriety, ego, that was when I was 20 and 30. I'm 51 now. I'm done that game. It's time for somebody else. They can have it. And that's why I walked. That's why I walked. But the thing is, I really just wanted to leave Total Drama because of all that shit that was happening with the with the fan base and like the death threats. I've had it since the beginning. Death threats. I've had blackmail. I've had this, that. I've had stalkers,
Literally,
literally, man, like
an
really,
animated character. Like you're just the voice, you don't write it. You don't, you know what I mean?
yeah. And what is that? What level? And see, and this is something I want to put out. Like when you see all that this Sonia Jezebel Cote woman has done, you realize that this is a mental health issue. This is mental health issue. Like this form of narcissism, this cruelty, this collaborating, getting people together, the coordination to call child services, to make false police reports. It's like,
what the fuck?
That's something up here. And all the people that sided with her, I was like, you sided with a thing. So what does that say about you? Because now it's all going to come out. Now we have to go checking off. I have it all. I have all the allegations. And see, that's the thing. That article that came out on Reddit, those allegations were based off of a hidden Facebook page that people were leaking out. And that's what they wanted them to do. They were calling people directly and saying this and like, hey, hot tip, just so you know, all based on falsehoods. And I'm like, all right, keep building it up. So now I'm like, I'm going to let God handle this.
Yeah.
I'm going to let karma, because karma knows where people live. And I'm going to let them they created this. So now they're accountable. And I kept silent until now, just saying, I know everything and I have everything. So everything that you've done, I have, and I have other people's testimonials. So now it's time to put them together. And now if people want to make up, their conclusions, let's put them together. Let's see what stacks up. But even the people that were with me and some of my fans are like, people are saying bad things, but I was like, why aren't you in jail? Like,
exactly.
And I was like,
that's what you said too, right?
Yeah. Well, that's where I got that from. It was by a 17-year-old girl who was like, I don't care what they say. I think you're the best, and she's like, you've helped me out and you've never met me, but like, you're an inspiration and you're not going to take that away from me. And also, by the way, I read some of the things and they're like, why wouldn't you be in jail? And I was like,
exactly. Like
there's so many. I
so
look
many.
like I would look like it's too much. They did too much. It's almost fictional. It's like and with the people and like, no wonder, and other people have seen this. The people following me, the cops trailing me. I sometimes on my phone it'll say you're being tracked. Like somebody has an Apple or like, and I'll be like, whoa. So I take a screenshot. I'm taking screenshots of so much shit, the weird shit, and I'm like, I'm just putting it in the police reports. I'm putting it in the police reports.
Exactly.
And that's all that's where I'm at. But I'm like, it's kind of fun. But the thing is, now I'm free.
Exactly.
And you can't do anything to me anymore, world, that, everything has been taken away from me. But it's not what's been taken away from me. It's what I have and what I'm doing with it.
The
That is
freedom
the most
foresters.
important. Yeah, you know what I mean? And this is like, I got rid of all the shit. So it was a cleansing. So I thank Sonia Jezebel Cote, Martha Christensen, and a few others whose names will become very public soon. I thank you for taking money out of my account. You know who you are. And the slander. You know who you are.
Yeah, that was
And
me.
for
No kidding.
and the backstabbing and the lying and lying to my face and coming in and pretending to work with me only to not and make something up. You know who you are. And I was like, I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for that because I really like who I am now. And like everybody, we're always trying to make ourselves a better version of ourselves.
That's
I
all we
was
can
given the
do, right?
opportunity. I was given the opportunity and I took it. And I'm just glad to be able to tell my story now. So when you contacted me, because I get a lot,
Right.
but I'm not on social media, so you can't find me. Got to go through my agent still. It's a little bit, but still people find me. They're still finding me somehow. And I've turned down a lot of them because I wasn't ready, but just divine timing. And also, I really like your scene, man. I checked out your podcast, and I want to be involved in your theater company, but setting up a voice scene with you out there because you seem to be running a show and a scene. So I was like, I like that. I like people that run their own stuff because it's about collaboration, and
Exactly.
so when you called me, I was like, I'm gonna because I want to work with you. I was like, I think you should get this story so that I can come back and sort of instead of being on my own platform. I was like, no, I want to meet somebody that I respect, that I like, not just that's going to take it and run a scoop with it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's it. And they're just like, and you didn't even approach with, hey, what's happening? It came
Yeah, I
later.
was
You just
just
wanted to talk to
I
me.
wanted to chat with you. Absolutely, because as I said in the email, I'm not sure if I said it in the initial email, but I said to you when we first met, I'm a fan. I was such a
Yep.
fan. Like I literally, you were the voice of my childhood, and now it's just so crazy. If you had told me back, 2007 me that hey, in 20 some years, you are going to consider the voice of Chris McLean a friend, I'd be like, yeah, he's never gonna know who I am. But here I am, and I'm so honored that now I can call you a friend, and
Absolutely.
I'm so honored that I was willing to let this go on for about 5 hours. Really, I was like, like just looking at this, I'm like, we can make this because it's funny as we're going through it, we're like, yeah, like at first it was going to be just a regular episode, and then the more we started talking, I'm like, nah, man, there's more here. I'm like, because
Put the
I
kettle
said,
on.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, I like, I'll schedule up for Tuesday at this date, and episodes normally run about an hour, and we started talking. I'm like, okay, scratch that. This is coming out Thursday. We're gonna shoot the shit. We're gonna get all the scoop of what's going on, and I wouldn't have had it any other way, man. Do you have any final words that you like to say to the viewers, people who are listening, who have been wondering where you've been, the people who have stood by you? Do you have any words you like to say to them?
For the people who still, yeah, I got words for everybody, but
Yes.
I'm very careful with my words. Everything is chosen and everything is thought out, but this one's coming from the heart because I wasn't expecting this part of it. Not that, our whole chat has been organic and there's way more to this story and stuff going on, but I just want to come out now and just say, like, I'm fine. I've always been fine. I've just been quiet because these idiots decided to do something and I didn't want to be a part of it. And, to say it's not true and blah, 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 it would be like engaging. So I just, you know, I just let them run with it. It was their idea. They wanted to do it for some reason. So I didn't want to play with them or engage. But in that, my whole world changed energetically, financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. I was attached to this thing that happened because I had to change. And the people that stood by me, you have my unwavering gratitude. Like, You didn't have to, but they did, because A, they saw it as an injustice, and also to support their friend who had been there for them. And that's the thing that bothers me, is that most of these people that came against me were people that I was genuinely trying to help out. You know, when I was going through one of the roughest times of my life, I still was trying to help them out and further their career and, help get into it while trying to fix myself. But to the people that stood by me, and you know who you are, I am very grateful, and I'm honored to not only call you a friend, but to learn what to be a friend is through you. For the people that decided to hop on, not even knowing me, because there's a bunch of people that don't even know me that hopped on this for their own popularity, for their own clout chasers, whatever reasons, whatever agenda they have. To you that came on and got on the cancel Christian bandwagon without knowing me or checking out facts, I hope you learned your lesson. That's all I got to say. And for the certain people that started this whole thing, I would like to have a talk. I would like to have a talk. And yes, my lawyers will be present. And, I just want this not to go away. I want this to be a lesson for a lot of people out there that play this stupid fucking game on social media, that this is their life. This doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And if you create this alter ego, this alter life of yours, you've got to be very careful. You've got to manage it. You're going to lose yourself in it, and you're going to lose a lot more. Okay. And I'd want this to be a lesson for a lot of people on every side of this, because it affects everybody. It affects your whole life, something like this. And so be prepared. If you do some allegations online, if you do gather and rally against, you are accountable for your actions. You might want to think things through. You might want to just, think things through. Just because you're going after that feeling of like, if you've been jilted or if you feel justified, just because you're angry doesn't mean you're right, kind of thing. And, I just think you got to take stock after what we've all been through with the pandemic. This is the other thing that freaks me out. I was like, she knows my mom died. She knows I was struggling. She knows that I was, my dad died. She knows that I was, dealing with my own struggles, addictions, trying to get through, like just trying to fix myself. But I was also trying to help others. You know what I mean? And I was even trying to help her out. And because it didn't go her way, she got mad and went nuclear, scorched earth. And she's done it before. But I'm like, at what point did you not think that this would all catch up with you? Because it did. It is now. She's done this before to other people in different ways, but it's totally her MO. And she's wrecked lives. But I want to know, I want to know why. That's what I have to say to everybody that wasn't with me. Why did you do it? That's the only reason. That's the only answer I want to hear. I know what you did. We all know what you did, but why? Why? What was your motive? To gather people, to make up stuff, to put it out there, to put other people up, to put it out there, to come in and invade my studio, my space, and lie to me. Why did you do this? What did you hope to gain? There are some speculations that it was financial because you took all my money, but where's that? Where is it? Also, where's my inheritance from when my dad died? Where's that? That all got caught up in it too, right? There's an investigation going on that. So, and the false police reports and the this and that. So it's all coming out in the wash. And I just figured, you know, I would come out and explain myself and at least start the process of just reintroducing myself to the world, Frankie. You know, I'm now, according to IMDb, I am Anthony Christian Potenza. And that is my first name. And that's a part of my life that I struggled with, like that Italian name, that the whole reason behind why I have that name and stuff like that. It's not the best story in my life, but it's still who I am. But now my world is changing, and here I am. So I want to meet with these people and, and figure out, have they changed? Have they grown? You know, what has this done to their life, or what's it going to do? That's what I'm interested in too. But I want to thank you for giving me a chance to, it wasn't really much of an interview. It was just me explaining it here. And I just want to thank you for holding space, Frankie, and allowing me to feel safe and comfortable enough to tell my story. And it feels really good. And I'm honored to call you a friend as well and stuff. And I can't wait to look forward to the future. I don't want to put this behind me to forget it. I just want to put it behind me in my taillights or in my rear view mirror. I want to show this thing my taillights because my windshield is looking really good right now. And I got lots of room, right? I got lots of room. And that includes the fans that I did have before. I'd like to reconnect with you because, hey, let's make our own cartoons. Let's make our own cartoons without the fucking drama. How about that? And to the fans, the new ones that I will make, you're not only fans of me, but you're fans of my family, the Freedom Forgers. I'm one of them. They're one of me. We are one and the same, just like you. And so I would just like to introduce myself to everybody. Hi, it's still me, but it's a better version. It's an older version, and it's one that is authentic. It's authentic and it is real. And I want to share this time with you because after what we've all been through for the last, with that pandemic, the lockdown, we all got scattered like pool balls. And now we're just walking each other home. And I would really like to make some new friends as well. And let's just all enjoy, the ride and the view. So, as someone in the industry that shaped my career a lot, they have a ring, and it's engraved, and it says, "Love many, trust few, and always paddle your own canoe." And I've always liked that, and it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. So, anyways, I want to leave on a high note. It's good to clear the air and tell my side of the story. And there's more, and we can talk about it more once it becomes a little more public. Then I will talk about it. But hey, man, I don't even know if I said things I shouldn't have, but I don't care at this point. After all that's been said about me, I don't fucking care.
It's your
I
turn.
really don't.
You kept silent for how long now? You know what I mean? Like 5 years. Like you deserve.
Yeah. It's 5 years. 5 years.
You
Yeah.
deserve to speak out, man. And and I'm so glad that you have, because that's, as someone who's dealt with anxiety and stuff like that. I mean, obviously, I've never had what you went through, and I hope I never do. But I know dealing with mental health, it's good to get it off your chest, and it actually makes you feel better. It's nerve-wracking to get it out. It's tough to say, like it's hard to just admit what happened, what I'm going through. But when you do, man, it's like literally, as I said, a weight off your shoulder, and it feels
Yeah,
great. And I hope that you got the peace that you deserve. And I'm just so glad. Here's to a better future. I have a I don't know if you have a drink with you. Cheers to the future, my friend. And we
I
will do.
have I have a chocolate.
That's even better.
I have a-
Cheers. Woo. There. Or actually,
Here,
well,
I have
here. Well,
four chocolates. I have four. I'm gonna do shots. Here, cheers.
cheers. Boom. There we go. Awesome, man. I gotta drink that. Mm.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for letting me, and that's the first time I've actually just went bleh. And if it was a little jumpy and sporadic, guys, I apologize. It is still a salad spinner of my soul going on. And I'm still, now that the dust has settled and it's moving past, and then now I'm like, offensively here making moves, but it's all triangulated, and that's what makes me feel secure. And I know exactly who did what and what did, but they just don't know that. So maybe this will be a catalyst too, once this gets out there, that, hey, it's your turn now. People have been watching you when you didn't think they were watching you.
Exactly.
Like, I was like, wow. It's like, it was like children almost, but like very mean, hurtful children that
Very much so.
dabble in witchcraft and some weird shit. Look into that one too. Look into
Yes.
her witch stuff.
Look at that up,
Look
kids.
into her witch stuff, everybody. If she's delving into my personal life, look into her witch stuff and some of the rituals that she may enjoy.
Absolutely.
Like that's the stuff right there, and that's, if she openly admits to being a witch, and blah blah blah, it's like, well, what do you mean by that? Look into it, guys. You'll find out what I knew,
Exactly.
and which I think she didn't want people knowing. But if she's gonna Harry carry me, I'm just like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not, I'm just saying that's the woman who said all the stuff about me and colluded with other people. But I want to know why, Sonia, and why you kept up for so long, and also, no, I just want to know why. I just want to know why, and the other people that joined you, and why they did that, and and let's all just move on. You can deal with your
Exactly.
karma, everybody, and then everybody else, let's, keep your eye open for the Freedom Forger stuff, because right now we're recording their Valentine's Day album, but their YouTube channels, like, hey man, they might pop up on a cartoon here and there, but expect a lot from us. And also, if you want to get involved, if you're on the spectrum, if you have a disability but you've always wanted to be an actor, you've always wanted to lend your voice for a video game, or even reading some of your own fan fiction, that's, man, we can animate that stuff. We have the technology, and like all those people that were doing total drama camps and doing this and doing that, it's all based on total drama. It's like, now you can do your own. Like, honestly,
Exactly.
you can do your own. And like, let's do that. Let's get the band back together, guys.
Let's get it going, guys.
In a
Awesome.
place where we belong. Oh man, I just had to.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. So guys, as we sign off, Christian, I was wondering, would you be able to do the honors and sign us off with a little tune in next time to the Corcoran Entertainment Show? I sort of put you on the spot, but I was like, we were talking about it before, something similar. I'm like, but I gotta ask.
Absolutely. Who knew that a powerful podcast from Miramichi, New Brunswick could happen? Well, it is. Find out next time who he's going to interview, who he's going to spill the tea with, who he's going to fanboy out on. Next time on Corcoran Entertainment!